What's up, YouTube? It's Ken again. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to show and talk about my collection of torque wrenches, which are all of the ones that you see in this video here. Obviously, this one's still in the box. It's the Quinn 1/2-inch drive digital torque adapter. I'm hoping to actually use that to determine whether or not all of these wrenches are still in spec. That assumes a few things, namely that this is accurate to begin with, but I'm actually going to just note up front that all of that content will be in the next video. For the other 6 of these torque wrenches, this is my main go-to. It's an Icon 1/2-inch drive click style torque wrench, and actually they're all click style torque wrenches. None of them are digital, other than this one. This is the 3/8-inch Icon, which pretty much looks identical to the 1/2-inch drive version. It's just shorter, smaller, and 3/8-inch drive. This is a Tekton 1/4-inch drive, and these 3 wrenches all have one thing in common, which is that their locking mechanism is a pull-down variety, and then you turn the handle. Whereas these 3 Pittsburgh Pro style wrenches all have the locking nut that you unscrew, and then you turn the handle. Collectively, I believe that these 3 wrenches were $11 each, and so it was a grand total of somewhere in the ballpark of 35 to 40 bucks. These were a substantially higher investment cost. I just picked this up. No coupon was available that I could find, and it was $50 retail. I think I paid a little over $100 for this one, about $90 for that one, plus tax, and that I believe was about $50. So I'm gonna open these up and show them off. Again, I've used this one the most. I've used it quite extensively, probably, I would guess, 50 to 75 times. And bearing in mind that I'm a DIYer, I don't own a professional garage or anything like that. I just work on my own vehicles and projects that come my way as time allows. This one right here I've used a handful of times, but I haven't had much of a use case for it yet. The same can be said about the Tekton up there. I haven't used it a whole lot. This one right here, this 1/2-inch Pittsburgh, I used quite a bit before I got the 1/2-inch Icon. And I'll talk a little bit. Price aside, I mean, you get what you pay for. The quality of these 3 right here are, I feel, very superior to the quality of these 3 Pittsburghs. But that aside, I'll go through the reasons I actually don't like using those and why I picked these up to begin with. All right, so you might have seen this in my other videos, but this is a look at the unit itself. It has a 90-tooth ratchet design, and the version I have is the fixed head, but they do have a flex head as well. I prefer the fixed head personally. I'm sure that the flex head would be useful in some situations, but I like to know that the geometry of what I'm working with isn't going to change, the torque value isn't going to change. And I think with the flex head, you might have some of that come into play, because I believe that from a physics standpoint, to accurately place a torque setting, you need to have the head of the ratchet securely onto the fastener. And then of course your hand needs to be all the way at the end in the knurled section here, in order to make sure that your operation is accurate and actually torquing correctly. If the flex head is inward or outward, I would think that would affect the geometry of things such that your torque spec might be off. Comment below if you know whether or not that's the case. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the locking collar mechanism I was talking about. And you just pull down the collar and then rotate to get your setting. I'm actually going in the wrong direction here. Let's just assume we want 70 foot-pounds. That would be how you set that. The 0 here lines up with the 70. I can't really get the whole ratchet in frame, but the nice thing about this kind of a mechanism is that when you're actually torquing down a fastener, there's pretty much no way that your hand can manipulate the setting that you've placed because this locking collar is in play. Whereas with the Pittsburgh style here, I've found that just by torquing a fastener, I've altered the setting, because the lock nut that's on the end of those, and I'll show that in a minute, basically isn't tight enough to hold the handle in place where it's supposed to be. So for that reason alone, I actually really like this wrench. Another thing to note too, this goes up to 250 foot-pounds, which is substantially higher than the other one in there. And it's also a lot longer. From top to bottom, it's 23.5 inches long. And this is the Pittsburgh variant, 1/2-inch drive. And you can hear the coarseness of that compared to the 90-tooth that this one has. I believe this is a 72-tooth ratchet. The thing about that is that if you're in a tight space, you want as many teeth as possible on the ratcheting mechanism so that you don't have to move the ratchet any which direction. I guess if you're tightening, you're gonna go this way. But that way, you don't have to come all the way up there to get another click. You might just have to go like that. So for tight spaces, the less movement that you have to make, the better, because if you are in a tight space, going up to here, you might not be able to. There might be a frame in the way or some other component that would prohibit you from getting that click in that you need to tighten further. Of course, with that one being longer too, it's easier to achieve higher torque settings. And then along with that, this one goes to 150 foot-pounds. So 100 foot-pounds less than that one. And this is that locking mechanism that I was talking about. You unscrew this here and then turn the handle to achieve your torque setting. And then you set it when you're ready by locking that little nut at the end right here, or bolt, whatever you call this, the fastener. But you just can't get that tight enough in my experience to where pulling down on the wrench, just a normal operation, can't possibly move the handle. It can, I've done it before. And so while it might only throw it off like a foot-pound or two, it's still enough to be annoying to where I feel like I have to recheck it and then maybe retighten something. So I really just don't like using this. And the quality of this too doesn't feel all that great compared to this one. But again, you get what you pay for, 11 bucks. Can't really complain about it too much. I will really be interested to see if this is still accurate. And I believe that they're both, well, all of the torque wrenches here, I believe are all plus or minus 4%. I'll try and look up their specs online just to confirm that. But that's in a clockwise turning modality, which you're probably going to be in like 100 times out of 100 when you're torquing something down anyway, just in a tightening setup. Not from the nut, but from the bottom of the handle to the top of this one is just a little more than 17 inches. I'm going to call that like 17 and a quarter, just for comparison's sake. Another reason this comes out the most often is because I use this, of course, for lug nuts, suspension work. A lot of the things that I really do want to make sure that I torque down are in this 1/2 inch drive range. And even if the 3/8 inch drive torque wrench has a range set for a bolt that I'm after to torque down, I might still spring for this one, like I did in my last video with the sway bars on that Hyundai Elantra, just because it's longer and I can get more leverage on it. So the longer the bar is, the more torque you're applying, and it's just easier to get to some of those torque values. Really important to note when you're storing torque wrenches, follow what the manufacturer specifies. In this case on the Icon, it says to store it at the lowest torque setting. That helps preserve, I believe, the spring mechanism that's in these so that they stay accurate over time. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to set it back. And in this case, I do believe that the lowest torque setting is that 50 foot-pound. On the back here, we can go to 74.6 Newton meters, but there's no setting lower than that. So I'm just going to set it to 50 foot-pounds. Just a few other thoughts too. I do believe that this has a warranty of 90 days for the torque calibration itself, but I believe, and I'll double check online if I can, that it has a lifetime warranty on the functionality of the wrench. So if something were to break, like in the mechanism, that isn't related to the calibration of the unit, I think they would cover that. Before I pivot over to the 3/8 inch drive wrenches, one more item on this one is that turning the handle to get to these upper torque settings is a real chore. It is hard to get it to the 150 foot-pound setting. I mean, I really have to crank this. I think maybe if I lubricated it in some way or just did it a bunch of times, it might not be that problematic, but it feels very, very stiff. I still have a little bit to go. Holy cow. All right, after much effort, we can see that we're at 150 torque pounds. Whew, that was a workout. Getting them backed off even takes quite a bit too. It's easier, but it still takes quite a bit of work. Similar to the Icon, I'm just going to store this at the lowest setting, which is 10 foot-pounds, and I'm just going to put it back in the case. Of course, the case has a little bit of a difference too. This is plastic. The tabs are plastic. These are, of course, metal. This case, I'm sure, will hold up over time much better. But are you really concerned too awful much about an $11 torque wrench? I mean, we want it to be accurate, right? But still. All right. Pretty much an identical story between these two 3/8 inch drive torque wrenches. 90-tooth ratchet. Sounds really fine and really nice. Locking collar. This one goes from 20 foot-pounds all the way to 100. And it's just a smidge longer as well. And be sure to check the heads out on this, because the head on this Pittsburgh Pro version is slightly larger, maybe even substantially larger than the Icon. So this might get hung up in some places that the Icon may not. Pittsburgh goes from 5 foot-pounds all the way to 80. So there's a 20 foot-pound difference on the top end, but it can actually go down to 5, so that's a little bit different. 72-tooth ratchet there. Same exact thing with the torque setting mechanism on the Pittsburgh. And as far as length goes, it's really close to 16 inches on the Icon. And if I'm not including that tightening screw, we can call that about 14 inches on the Pittsburgh. Not much more to talk about with these two that I haven't already talked about with the Icon and the Pittsburgh half-inch models in mind. Really the same things apply. Like I said, I don't use these too often because if I'm in the range of something that can be done in 3/8, like 70 plus foot-pounds, I'm probably going to reach for the half-inch drive if I have the room to do so. This was the torque wrench that I broke off that 10mm bolt the other day on in my Honda Odyssey. For a refresher, here's that bolt. I chose to use that 3/8 inch drive on such a small bolt because the torque spec that I read suggested that this bolt was supposed to be torqued down at 16 foot-pounds. The reality was that it should have only been 8, so I can't really blame the torque wrench. It was user error on my part for following a bad torque setting, but I will be curious, especially with this wrench, more so than the others, well, except for this one that I use all the time. This will be the one that I'm second most interested in to find out how accurate it is. It would not shock me to find out that it's off, even substantially so. I'll throw up a card up here to the video where I do a discussion on how I actually extracted this bolt from the engine block that it was in. But as you can see, I took a left-handed drill bit, a couple of them in fact. I started one with a smaller left-handed drill bit and then put a bigger one in there, and it actually started spinning out with that slightly bigger one. So no harm, no foul. But to a DIY home gamer like myself, that was a harrowing experience, and I was very nervous about the whole process. Similar story with these, they get stored at the lowest setting. That happens to be the 20 foot-pounds on the Icon. Why this one has a glass front, I'm not sure. And that is the 5 foot-pound setting on the Pittsburgh. All right, and last but not least, we're going to talk about the 1/4 inch drive Pittsburgh torque wrench versus the 1/4 inch drive Tekton. Now these are small enough, of course, just to keep in the camera frame. And you can tell the Tekton is significantly smaller than the Pittsburgh. Its range is smaller too. The Pittsburgh goes from 20 inch-pounds all the way to 200, whereas the Tekton goes from 10, so a little bit smaller of a range, all the way to 150. With its smaller size, I actually prefer the Tekton. I mean, I'm a fan of Tekton tools, but I really preferred it because of this locking collar mechanism, like I talked about before. Here's the sound of its ratcheting mechanism. I don't know that this one is 90 tooth. I'll have to look. I'll put it on screen. This one sounds pretty fine too on the Pittsburgh. A little sloppier. It feels a little sloppier. Yeah, it feels a lot sloppier. But I think it probably is a 72 tooth, and the Tekton may be as well. Like I said, I'll throw that up on screen. Anyway, I've used this a handful of times. No tremendous complaints with it, but I always get nervous when I use 1/4 inch drive torque wrenches. Please comment below if that's your experience too. Am I alone in that? Because I don't know, the bolts that you're torquing down with this are so small. It just really scares me. What I really like to do in those cases is just choke up on a 1/4 inch drive ratchet and then tighten. The Tekton comes in right at about 8.5 inches. And the Pittsburgh, again, if we don't include that locking screw, I'm gonna call it a little shy of 10.5. We could call it 10.5. Let's call it 10 3/8. The Tekton includes really nice instructions, and as well, they have a nice torque unit conversion table, and I used that in one of my last videos. And of course, the carrying case on the Tekton is going to last, I would imagine, quite a bit better over time than the plastic case from the Pittsburgh Pro. Where I do like to use 1/4 inch drive torque wrenches are for fasteners like on valve covers, oil drain pans, things like that, where you want to go in a sequence and you want it at a certain torque setting. I feel more confident torquing things like that down with small fasteners, as you find in those cases. But otherwise, I mean, I'm sure this could be used a lot in bicycle applications and the like, but generally speaking, for a lot of components on the car now, again, I prefer just to choke up on a 1/4 inch drive ratchet and tighten it down snugly, and I'm good with that. As a final note with all of this, you definitely want to torque things down like suspension components and lug nuts. I really can't stress that enough or say it enough. You don't want your wheels falling off, and you don't want suspension components becoming loose. There are plenty of other examples of things that you definitely want to use a torque wrench on. By no means is that exhaustive. As a bit of a summary, I can't recommend for the home gamers and DIYers like myself having a torque wrench like this enough. You really need a wrench that can go to that 250 foot-pound range for those higher end suspension components. I'd also recommend a good 3/8 inch drive torque wrench too. And of course, having a good 1/4" drive torque wrench in your arsenal is really essential. One thing that just popped into my head to note is that with these being click style torque wrenches, they don't have built within them natively the capacity to do degrees. So if you're tightening down something like head bolts and you have to tighten down like a 90-degree turn, you just pretty much have to do that manually. But having a torque wrench that can do that is nice. But these are not digital and they don't have that capability within them. It's a day later and I'm cutting in for a post-edit clip. I actually picked up the 3/8 inch version of the digital torque adapter, as you can see right there. And the reason is this one goes down to 5.9 foot-pounds all the way to 59. So the range is pretty small, admittedly, but that's because then I can use just this torque adapter to test the 1/4" ratchet as well, because it only goes up to a little over 12 foot-pounds. Now, my question with that for all of you, if any of you know, obviously the range for the biggest torque wrench I have, it starts at 50. And so that means I only can test 9 foot-pounds of range on it. If that's accurate, is it enough to assume that the higher end of the range is as well? Please post your comments down below. If anyone knows, and based on that feedback, I may pick up the 1/2" inch digital adapter as well. I was just trying to save money on a tool I wouldn't use all that often, but as I was driving home, it dawned on me that just testing the low end of that range might not be sufficient. So let me know. Anyway, I digress. What are your thoughts? Feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I always find them educational. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. And if you liked this video or found it entertaining or informative, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow and for the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video to other people. Thanks for watching. Peace.